What's up, YouTubians? Gary, VW Jawbreaker. Welcome back to a slightly different video today where, well, doesn't matter what we're doing, doesn't really matter where we're going. What matters is some of the details of this video. So today's video, again, a little different. It's going to be more of a vlog. I kind of explain to you guys some of the things that, well, a lot of the same questions I've been getting over and over and over and over. One about the Sickxty, and the other about Jawbreaker. So sit back, grab a beverage, grab some popcorn, and let's just get into this and see what all we can find out together today. So we're going to start off with the Sickxty. The Sickxty basically, you ever heard of the saying, don't go down that rabbit hole? That's exactly what we did on the Sickxty. We went down the rabbit hole. So if you think way back, right? Way back. When I first started this, I was like, you know what? This is going to be a rat rod build. It's far from a rat rod build now. The reason I said that was I wanted to put minimal money at a minimal budget, and people don't know how to drive on a green light. Come on! Well, one thing led to another, and the biggest thing that happened with that was the amount of metal work. So this is technically the first major build, start to finish, that I've done like this. So there was a learning process on heater channels and things of that nature, right? So since we had to do all this metal work, you know, we started off with lopping the front end off, making a custom beam extension, doing heater channels, rear quarters, some B-pillar work, A-pillars, front firewall, rear package tray patches. We had to patch around the front cowl. We had to patch around the front windows, rear window, side window. We had a lot of work to do on this car. And to be honest with you, I gave myself an unrealistic timeline and said it'll be on the road pretty quick. So my idea was basically to, well, do the metal work and sand it down, clear it, whatever, and just kind of make it into, it is what it is. But make the chassis solid, you know, new pans, the whole 9 yards. The more and more time I spent working on this stinking body seemed like the longest process of my life. The more time I worked on it, the more I realized it's a lot of freaking work. And I just said, you know what? Fine. So I admitted my idea and said, I'll make the interior nice and let the outside be what it is. That way it kind of makes me feel a little better about putting in, you know, 45 bazillion hours into this thing and not really having much to show for it. Well, fast forward a little more, I came up with the idea of, you know what, this is a crap ton of work, and I don't want to look like crap. I don't want a rat rod. So it kind of turned into what it is now. You know, instead of doing paint, we did the U-pull or whatever rhino line on the outside, just because, well, kind of hide some flaws. I don't have to make everything perfect. Good girl. You know, I didn't have to worry about making everything perfect. You know, the bed liner is going to hide a little bit. And then the more and more that I started doing finish up work and things of that nature, started realizing the lack of skills that I had too on all this body work. Holy cow. There's still imperfections there. There's still little dips on the side of the, you know, little dings and dents that I didn't really worry about doing too much body filler on. I didn't hammer and dolly everything the best that I could. And the reason for that, I didn't want a perfect car. This is not going to be a show car. Originally, this was going to be a beater, you know, rat rod, ran over something. But again, with all this time that I'm putting into it, I just finally said, no, you know, it's going to be something special. So that brings us to one of the major questions that I get asked. Gary, what size tires are those on the back of the Sickxty? The front and back tires are the same exact size. They're 30 by 950 by 15s. They're a decent sized mud tire. Of course, then everybody says, well, you know, that big of a tire, you're going to have to put turbos and this and that and, you know, a V8. And no, not really, because if you think about it, everything has to work together. So if you go back to some of the chassis videos, which again at that time I wasn't really recording a whole lot on the chassis, but when I put the transmission in, the Kafer bar on the pan and everything, when it was pretty much done and I was doing final assembly, I was recording a lot of that. And that transmission was special built, purpose built for that car. So I said, I've got this motor, these size tires, I need a transmission. I need a transmission that does the best of both worlds. I need to be able to go, same time I need to highway cruise. Do what you can. I talked to many builders. Okay, maybe not many. I talked to 5 or 6 builders, to be honest with you, and finally reached out to Bill over at B&D Transmission up in Michigan. Kind of a far drive, far haul from Florida. I hit some local people first. Just pull out, it's no big deal. What the heck? I did talk to a couple local-ish people. Nobody really wanted to listen to what I needed. So anyway, I reached out to Bill at B&D. I said, hey, I need a transmission. Here's what I'm trying to do. He said, you have my attention, dude. Talk to me. What's up? Message is not going to work. You need to call me. So I called him. We spoke on the phone for a good half hour or more. And he finally said, listen, running this size tires, you need a transmission with these parts, these gears, this ring and pinion, super diff, welded, heavy duty cross shafts, yada, 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 yada. He said, and that's the budget version. You want to go more crazy? We can go more crazy. And the guy has a great reputation. I know other people that have used his transmissions. He's been doing this for quite a long time. So I trust him. And I trust the opinion of the other people that have his transmissions as well. So that's how I can run the 30-inch tires and not be screwed. The transmission was built for it. Now, another common question I get asked. What motor is going in the Sickxty? This 2054 is going in the Sickxty. Why would I do that? It's already in Jawbreaker. Build another motor. Trying to keep this on budget, which I've blown out of the water, but that's besides the point. I'm trying to keep this low cost. So unfortunately today, the last drive at Jawbreaker. Yeah, I know, go ahead and start typing and complaining. Today's the last drive. She's going away. Not for good. She needs work. But again, to keep costs down, to keep things down for now, because, you know, we've kind of deviated plans several times. Hold on. Since we deviated plans several times, budget's way out the window. Everything's just complete foobarred. So we're pulling the 2054 out of Jawbreaker. God, I love this engine. So anyway, we're pulling the seats out. We're going to try to put the shifter, since the Sickxty's an early car, they sit different. The shifter sits a lot more forward. We're going to try that. I don't see why it wouldn't work. You know, a couple other little things we're going to pull out of Jawbreaker, put in the Sickxty, get the Sickxty on the road. So what does that mean for Jawbreaker? Well, I have most of the parts to do a spare engine build, right? So we're going to do like a budget build motor on the cheap. We're going to take used parts that we have, or that we can scrounge up, that are within spec, and put things together with as little money as possible and build like a 1600, 1641, 1776, something of that nature. Try to keep everything as low cost as possible. She needs floor pans, she needs a passenger A-pillar, she needs some work, she needs some love. There's something going on in the front steering, so she's going to come off the road for a while. That'll give me time to really focus on the Sickxty, finish that stuff up, get her on the road, enjoy her for a little bit, then maybe next spring we'll pull Jawbreaker out of hiding and we'll start getting some work done on her. That's the plan. Plans are subject to change. I thought about going some kind of water-cooled engine in the Sickxty. But man, I love this motor. This thing has been fantastic. I am thinking about pulling it down, doing a quick refresh on her, just kind of seeing how she's lasted over the last, I don't know, 8,000, 9,000, 10,000 miles, whatever it's been. I don't remember what the mileage was on the car when we put her in. It's written down at home, but as you see, I'm not home, so that does no good. Let me know if you want to see the teardown of the engine. Let's inspect it, things of that nature, or I might just do it off camera. So let me know down below. Comment, let's see here. What should you comment? Orange pineapple engine teardown. Orange pineapple engine teardown. I don't know where I come up with this stuff sometimes. But anyway, that should kind of wrap up and help answer a lot of those questions. Again, it was not my original intent to pull Jawbreaker off the road, but she needs some love. This would be the perfect time to do it. So why not just go ahead and do it? Get her done, get the Sickxty done, get the Sickxty on the road, and we can refocus some love on this thing that's just been driving like crazy over the years. I mean, I've got about 20-some thousand on this car. All we've done to it is mechanical stuff and one A-pillar. That's it. So guys, thanks so much for being here. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for the encouragement over the years, because let me tell you, it's amazing what life throws at you when you least suspect it. You know, I messed up my ankle, wasn't in the garage for a couple months, messed up my shoulder in 2022. You know, that was what I had 4.5 months I worked on the car. The rest of the time, we didn't do crap. I wasn't able to because of the shoulder. You know, that's another reason why Levi and I spent so much time working on the Baja back then. So do me a favor, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Make sure you follow along on the process. And for those that have donated to the cause, to help me continue on with the channel, with the build, things of that nature, that PayPal link is on the website. It's also on the top of the screen up there. I appreciate it. I know with inflation, money's tight. It's tight for everybody. And let's be honest, we don't make that much money on YouTube. It's pennies on the dollar for the amount of work that goes in for editing, filming, equipment, your time. Are you kidding me? It takes me 3 to 4 times longer to do the work and record than it does to actually do the work. But I do it for your entertainment. People say I'm entertaining. I don't know why. I do it I get a little bit of enjoyment out of it. It's kind of fun. It's a different way to connect with the community, right? There's one thing about, you could always sit there and post pictures on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. But there's something different about spending time with somebody in the shop, right? That just makes everything a little bit more personal. You get to know somebody on a different level. I am who I am. I mean, you've got to kind of ramp up the enthusiasm a little bit. I can't sit there and be all boring like this. And it's also neat to see other ways of accomplishing a task, right? You know the old saying, there's a million ways to skin a cat. Okay, maybe not a million. There's a lot of ways, right? Pick a way that works for you, get you the results that work for you, and that are safe. Especially if it's something major, right? You want to be safe. So that's the nice thing. This person may do something that makes no sense to you why they did it. This person may do something, you're scratching your head. Somebody else may do something. Maybe you put all of those together to come up with your solution. You know, not all of my videos are how-to and DIY. It's sometimes more of just my journey and my process. Some of the stuff I record is stuff for Levi and I to look back later down the road. I can't believe how old he's getting, how grown up and mature he's getting. It's kids grow up way too fast. They really do. Anyway, we're about there. I appreciate you guys more than you know. There's a lot of times your comments come through actually make my day. I just sit there and look at it and go, wow. I was having a crappy day, but now that put a smile on my face. That helped me mentally. So thank you. Again, let me know if you want to see that engine refresh video. Comment. What did we come up with? Oh yeah. Orange pineapple. Orange pineapple video teardown. Or engine teardown or something. Engine inspection. I don't know, you figure it out. I have to come up with all this, you figure something out. Thank you guys. Be kind. Until the next time, you be good.